session which is very close to my heart. And as Mrs. Neeta Prasad just said, that I'm very happy that the new education policy that was launched last year, uh, internationalization of higher education has an important place in it, almost a whole chapter. And so we'll see a new change in the Indian higher education system through the new education policy. So as I requested you, and you told me that the presentation flow should go in the in a specific format. So I will speak about how internationalization is at the heart of our university. We'll also speak about the SIU World Bank survey that was carried out with students who are presently here in India, some of our international students who are abroad. So we circulated a questionnaire amongst Indian and international students. Then, of course, the innovations in internationalization that we have done and many other universities in India. And of course, the key reforms that are needed, many of them, of course, just listed out by Neeta Prasad ji. So, when I talk about internationalization being at the heart of Symbiosis, uh, you all know that this whole university was established not to become a university, but it was a small organization established 50 years ago for the welfare of foreign students. So when nobody spoke about internationalization, globalization, Dr. Muzumdar, the founder of this institution, felt that there needs to be an organization in India that will take care of foreign students because he was a professor of botany in Ferguson College here in the city of Pune, and which hosted a large number of foreign students even then. And when he interacted with them, and he was a foreign students advisor appointed by the Pune University, he realized that these foreign students carry more ill will about our country than really goodwill. And many of them, after being educated in India, go back and assume top positions in their home countries. And I would very proudly like to state here that many students who have passed out from Symbiosis and many other institutions in India have become ministers in their countries, diplomats, businessmen, and so on, and are at decision making positions. And therefore, these memories that they carry about our country, about the city that they get educated in, are very important. And that was the reason that he thought that we should start an organization called Symbiosis to bring in foreign and Indian students together to promote international understanding. So the larger cause was Vasudhaiva Kutumbakam. It's a Sanskrit terminology, which means living together, which means that the world is one family. So where geographical boundaries should not really matter, and young men and women from different parts of the world should live together as if the world is one family. So that was the real objective, and therefore we say that internationalization is in the DNA of Symbiosis, and we do carry out a lot of events. And over the last 50 years, and when I talk about the survey, I'll speak about it more in details. Over the last 50 years, we've seen foreign students coming from different parts of the world, mainly Afro-Asian countries, uh, and almost a representation of 85 different countries that are studying with us, and also the largest number here in the city of Pune. And I suppose the feelings that they had in 1971 still remain the same, while, of course, the higher education system has changed. Yes, they do talk about the quality of education, but then there are experiences of these international students that really need to get noticed than really, anything else. And therefore, to actually give them the best experience, Symbiosis does a lot, right from celebrating their national days on the 31st of July, hoisting their country's flag, to international food festivals, to even tree plantations, connecting them with the corporates, the industry, and also ensuring that they not only just look at employment and industry connects, but also look at what's happening in India, therefore connecting them to NGOs in India so that they get to work and get to experience what the whole Indian culture is all about. There are Indian students who act as buddies and mentors, they are faculty mentors. So overall, we give them an experience that they will really talk about, because God, education in any institution would probably be the same. Of course, it does differ, the way the teacher teaches, but the knowledge that is imparted could be the same. But I think the experiences are more important. And I suppose if Indian universities give that kind of experience to international students, that is what they will carry, and that is what they will actually, also think about when they come into these positions of decision making. And that is what we do. And then I would like to also speak about the survey that we did. So in and very interesting insights into this special survey. Of course, we couldn't get a lot of data. There were about 1,900 respondents from Indian students category and about 222 from the international students category. But very responses that I'm quite surprised, to get these. And if you look at just move to the, yeah. So we had a large number of undergraduate students that responded to the survey as compared to the postgraduate students, both in both the categories, Indian and international. Very few alumni responded, but nevertheless, we could get a few alumni to even send their responses. And if you look at the perspectives, just move on to the next slide, please. Move on to the next. So, if you look at, there's some questions that we asked, and we said, why is internationalization important, for Indian students? And when we are talking about Indian students, most of them said that, their experience in different countries and the cultures is what really, they look at as internationalization, which also means that mobility forms an important part, and right now with the COVID, when travel and mobility is hampered, the experiences that these Indian students think about as internationalization is what what they feel is effective. Some of them, about 80%, also say that internationalization gives them interpersonal skill development, better communication and leadership skills, and many of them also speak about becoming more independent. So we ask them, why is internationalization of higher education important to them? They feel that they feel more confident. They feel that they develop certain skills of adulthood, and maturity. These are the terminologies that our Indian students, spoke about. Next. We had these interactions with Indian students where we asked them whether internationalization helps them improve their social skills, and close to 40% said that yes, definitely their social skills are improved. Next, and when we spoke about global citizenship, um, many of them said that the learning about other countries and global issues is a useful aspect of internationalization. So for them, gaining an international perspective on issues was important, for especially for Indian students. And some of them also mentioned that international experiences help them appreciate diversity. So if you look at and I'm glad that UGC is now, they've set up a committee on global citizenship and what should universities do to inculcate global citizenship. These kind of findings are will become important when we discuss it in this committee. Next. Then we said that, how do you feel interacting with international students? And many of the Indian students said that interacting with international students helped them with perspectives about their own life in India, but more importantly, participating actively with international students also made them confident. Felt that there will be a personality development, and they will appreciate diversity and respect for other cultures. Therefore, the importance of having international students in classrooms. So, whenever universities look at foreign students, being on university campuses, we always talk about a number. So you're always running after the number of foreign students in your university defines how internationalized the university is. But honestly, for me, I think it's about diversity and inclusion. It's about how do you assimilate these different cultures into a classroom. How does diverse discussions happen, and the experiences that we have had at Symbiosis of having even about 2 to 3 international students in a class really makes a difference, because Indian students learn from them and they learn from Indian students. And to give an example of a classroom of an international studies school that we have just about 2 students, an African from Nigeria and an Afghanistan student. And I must say that the international studies students feel that even having 2 international students in their class brings about so much of discussions on diversity, and it's a totally different classroom than what it would have been if it was just an Indian students classroom. Next. uh, yes, there are Indian students who felt that interacting in or getting an international academic experience does help them build a career. Of they also feel that they for a career abroad or maybe education abroad. So. Some of them have given importance to internationalization as if it means that for them it's easy to get accepted in a foreign university if they have to move out for a career abroad. Next. Now, when we spoke about mobility, they were what they felt is that this COVID has definitely affected the mobility, and therefore, you see a large number of students understood the concept of internationalization at home, which we never ever spoke about. So, for them, internationalization was more about traveling to another university, to another country, and experiencing the culture. But when with the online mode of education now, and with a lot of foreign faculty now coming into classrooms because of online education, we've been able to practice internationalization at home. So, which also means that at least in Symbiosis, there could be less than 2% students who could really be mobile to go on a semester exchange, etc., and could travel to a foreign country. And the remaining 98% actually remained on the university campus and did not experience this kind of mobility. For them now, they are experiencing internationalization and therefore understanding the whole concept of IAH, which is now spoken about. Next. Yes, there have been obviously COVID has hampered mobility, but some of the other reasons that the Indian students have listed is that traveling abroad obviously is expensive. Traveling abroad is not something that their parents would, and so these are, of course, I won't talk about these reasons right now because in a COVID-like situation, definitely mobility is hampered, and you cannot give so much importance to the findings that came out during this question. Next. And adverse impact of COVID-19 on internationalization. Yes, surprisingly, the findings are obviously, if you look at the next slide, just move on to the next slide. When with COVID-19, when we moved on to online engagement, we felt that, students would appreciate having foreign faculty in the classrooms because of, and definitely many more foreign faculty than they would have otherwise experienced. But you see that the findings, talk something else. Transition from in-person to online activities has provided me with international experiences that were not otherwise possible. 39% of the students actually, agree. And, many of them are not motivated to carrying on with this kind of online education in spite of, getting an international experience in classrooms. So these are again findings that were, for us were quite surprising. We felt that when we spoke about internationalization, we felt that the responses would have been more positive with online education, but they are not so. When we looked at responses from international students, and just about 222 international students responded, uh, the motivation to pursue a higher education degree abroad by international students, their reasons, a majority of them felt that, their personality development takes place. Many of them felt that they get good career opportunities when they go back home. And of course, about 50% also felt that a different cultural experience is something that, they are satisfied about. Next. Yes, many students did mention that social skills definitely improved because of getting an international experience. Next. I think this slide is the most important slide, and the findings. Of course, it's a little scattered, so you may not be able to read it. But what this slide actually shows is that there were questions that were asked that whether Indian students get along well with international students, and if you look at the answers, uh, there are about a large number of students felt that Indian students don't get along well with international students. A large number of students feel that faculty and staff treat international students. Do they treat international students on par with Indian students? Many of them disagree to this. Whether international and Indian students tend to socialize in their separate groups with little intermingling between them, many of them felt that yes, Indian students do not assimilate with international students, and whether they have encountered any racial discrimination during their time in India. Many of them do agree to this. So I think it is all about how do we treat international students when they are in India. What are the experiences that they carry back? And I think the Afro-Asian students are the most affected when it comes to these kind of findings. So even amongst the 200 plus students that we interviewed, the negative findings that came out were mainly from African students, because they felt that they are largely discriminated as compared to the European or the white skinned students when they come to India. So there is a greater acceptance of students from developed countries as compared to students who come from developing countries, specifically Africa. And here I would like to point out not such a detailed survey that we had done, but in 1971 when Symbiosis was established, as I said, Dr. Muzumdar interviewed about a large number of foreign students. And at that time also, it was the same finding of discrimination, not being accepted. Again, students from developed countries, red carpets are thrown in front of them, whereas we are not treated well. Then again in 2014, when I did a survey with more than 100 students, international students studying in Pune city, again the findings were same. And today in 2021 also the findings are same. So I guess when we look at promoting Indian higher education abroad, I think it's more important to actually tell our own citizens to accept international students as if they are our own, not discriminate them, so that the experiences that they get in our country are the experiences that they're going to carry back home. And this is actually going to affect the number of students coming back to study with us. Next. Now, factors that play a key role in international students choosing India as a higher education destination. Of course, affordable education is one that they talk about. That is one of the reasons. A reputation of Indian higher education. Many of them said that they knew that the reputation of Indian higher education institutions is good. And I'm glad to hear this, because in most of my talks and webinars, I have made a mention that we need a lot of interministerial approach where Indian embassies need to also provide with a lot of information about Indian universities to foreign students, which generally does not happen. Many of them also said that they get attracted to Indian culture, so that could be one of the reasons why they want to come to India. Next. uh, Now we ask them whether you would recommend India as a higher education destination. I'm glad to see that a large number of students, in spite of their bad experiences, would want to recommend India as a higher education destination. Next is where we looked at factors that play a key role in international students choosing our university, and I won't go into details, but obviously the reputation of the university, many of the factors that where experiences of students who already studied with us, positive experiences brought back, more students from those countries. In fact, we have the second generation of students also studying with us now. Next. We also spoke to them because we didn't have insights into other universities. So therefore, this question was more directed to our own university. We asked them whether international students assess academic programs at our university. What is the percentage of the program focused on international issues? And we see a large number of students saying that about 10 to 30% focuses on international issues. And I think that was again a positive sign for us. Um Next, we also asked them whether international students get to participate in international events, and how does it really impact them. They said that yes, it does impact them positively, more in their personality development. Also, they get to engage with other cultures, etc. Next, we looked at whether internationalization of higher education prepares them for their future. international students think that the experience here at, of course, our university, because we have students from our university giving these answers, prepares them for the future in their home countries. And again, when we look at, we have a very good alumni database, and looking at what these international students do when they go back, many of them, of course, move out of their home country towards the west. Many of them go to the US, Canada, and Europe. But those who remain in their home countries definitely get good jobs, and many of them have also become entrepreneurs, etc. So this has been a wonderful survey and insights into the findings, which we will share with the World Bank. I would have been happy to have a larger number of student cohort, but in a situation like this, we certainly could not get too many responses. The other two areas in on which I would like to talk about is, of course, the innovations that we have done in the area of internationalization. And here, I think it's not just about online education, but we also provided students with online internships. We created a lot of e-academies, and students from different parts of the world were given, internships even at our university. And I think that is something that attracted them, uh, which we did not see. I mean, we didn't see a response coming from certain countries, but when we announced these e-internships and e-academies, we saw a lot of students coming from developed countries, specifically from European countries, to participate in these events. So I think with the COVID situation, we moved not just into online education, but even into a lot of virtual things that we would not have otherwise done. As regards key reforms, Kurt, that you asked me to speak about, I think Mrs. Neeta Prasad has already spoken about. But with this new education policy, I'm sure we are going to see a huge change in the way Indian higher education has been. And I personally feel it's not about a number game that, from 47,000 international students, we want to move into 200,000 international students. I mean, if you run after numbers, then ideally, with a student size of such a large student size that we have, and with the UGC, allowing us to take 15% international students, the numbers have to be really large. But I think even with the numbers that we have, if we can treat them well, if we can give them better experiences, if we can provide them with quality education, I think that is far more important. And it's not about just foreign students learning from Indian universities, but it's about Indian students learning from foreign students. And I always believe that, there's a lot of learning that happens, here in our Indian classrooms for Indian students, because otherwise they wouldn't have learned such diversity and the diverse cultures, if there were no foreign students. And I think that is what we try and emphasize, at least at our university. In fact, we also have sessions of foreign students in our schools. We run K-12 schools, and we have, say, African students going and, talking in a classroom of a 8th standard or a 9th standard class. And you can't imagine the amount of questions that these young boys and girls have from our schools to these African students, because many a times, you just have a perception about a country and its culture. But when foreign students come themselves and talk about their culture and, about their country, then our perceptions also change. And therefore, I personally feel that importance has to be given to this aspect of diversity and inclusion, then really looking at the at numbers. And the other thing, and I would like to end by saying that we also need to have an interministerial approach when we talk about internationalization. So it's not just about Ministry of Education trying to do things, because they would much want to do things, but what if visas are not granted? So Ministry of Home Affairs is equally important. What if Indian education is not promoted when, say, a foreign student comes to the Indian embassy in some country and asks information? So the Ministry of External Affairs is important. And lastly, of course, the Ministry of Commerce, to keep a check on, what really happens and how is the economic growth that gets impacted because of the presence of foreign students. So you really need to have this kind of interministerial approach, and only then we will see more and more foreign students coming, getting better experiences. I mean, right now, if you see, a large number of students would come to study English, at Symbiosis, but and in many other universities. Surprisingly, now the Ministry of Home Affairs doesn't grant visas for short-term courses in Indian universities, and therefore there is a huge contingent of students that would have otherwise come to India, which now cannot come simply because for short-term courses visas are not given. Now that's not fair. I mean, there could be security reasons why you don't want students from a particular country to come, but finally these are students and you need to use different yardsticks to grant them visa. So that is why I say this interministerial approach will definitely help, and I would urge to Neeta ji that if she can take a lead and get other secretaries and joint secretaries to discuss. Once Niti Aayog, our planning commission did, they definitely arranged one meeting, but after that nothing has happened. And I would really urge to the Ministry of Education that if at all we need to see an India of the past where universities like Takshashila and Nalanda attracted foreign students and scholars and provided them with the best experience and the best education. And if we really want to see this change after the new education policy, I think we all need to work together and collaborate, so that India will regain its past of what it was as a Vishwaguru, as a country that will provide the best education to people from different parts of the world. Thank you, Gaurav.